In December 2022, I started going to the gym for the first time in my life. Like, I've never ever have done any type of sports for a long period of time in my life before. Now, what's interesting is that it took me 6 months to go from this to this, but it took me a year to go from this to this. And I know I'm not the best physique in the world, and I'm not like some crazy mass monster, like some 17 years old on steroids, but I know for a fact that there's a whole bunch of people who would really want to have this physique. Like, I promise you, it took me a little bit more than 1 week to step over myself and actually fall in love with trainings. Like, it just became a part of my identity, and I just started going to the gym like crazy, like 6-7 times a week. And I don't say that you should do that, you definitely shouldn't. So how do you actually do it? How do you really make your body change so much that nobody will believe you? You see, there are basically 2 groups of people. First group is people who force themselves to go to the gym for like weeks, months, sometimes even years. But then they slip off, they don't have the mentality, they just go back to their usual habits. They don't have this sort of like forever mindset, like I love to say it. And those are like probably 90% of the population. And the second group is people who go through the same start, they force themselves to go to the gym for first days, weeks, probably even months. But then they actually fall in love with them too. And those people are just like probably 10% of the entire population, like broadly speaking, right? So if you're gonna be able to become one of those, I'm proud of you. And I probably got lucky because it just took me 1 week to actually fall in love with trainings. But for some people it takes much longer. And that leads to my first point, which is you have to believe that it's possible. But before we get into it, make sure to like and subscribe so you get more videos like this on your homepage. Even if you're obese, even if you're skinny, even if you're 40 years old, whatever. Like, I've personally met there's the guy in my gym who's like 60 or 65 years old, I believe, and he looks like a fucking animal. And he performs better than me, like I'm 17 and he's 60. There are a bunch of books on mindsets like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is about finance, but basically the same thing because you just have to believe it. It's like your thoughts, your mindsets, and your beliefs genuinely transmute themselves into its physical equivalents. You might not believe it, and I don't blame you because I used to be the same and I kind of struggle with it right now still. But at least in terms of fitness, it's helped me a lot. There's also a very good book called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz, and he will essentially like convince you that that's possible whatever age you are, whatever position you are, whatever the fuck you do with your life. You can always make a change and it's never too late. These are just fucking social norms and you just don't want to be a normie, right? Like really, who could, like I never personally believed that I could change myself so hard until I actually started to manually implement those thoughts into my mind. Like, I used to be fat from age of 11 to age of 16, like really fat. I almost ended up having diabetes. I talked about this a lot on my channel. To looking like this, like for me, it's pretty insane. Because my family, my grandparents, they didn't just fucking believe me when I sent them the picture. So get the fuck away from people who are trying to stop you, who are telling you that that's not possible, who are trying to pull you back. I call them props. Like, a lot of people used to tell me this, and I used to be myself like this as well when I was younger. I used to say that I don't go to the gym just because I don't want to get too big. Like, can you imagine how stupid this is? And that's really one of the biggest excuses my mom used to tell me when I tried to get her into the gym. It took me weeks to convince her that it's just fundamentally not possible. Like, you're not gonna get too big. Even if you want to, even if you want to get big, it takes fucking years, it takes ages to get big. So it's genuinely that simple, you just have to take the first step. Just go, like, commit, buy a membership for a year, for 6 months, 4 months, whatever. Just commit, pay the money for the membership. And even if you're not gonna go for the first day, for the second day, for the first week, whatever, even for the second week, you will just eventually then like, oh fuck, like I actually paid for this, maybe I should go. And trust me, you will. Just make the commitment to yourself. Now, my second point is don't set your expectations too high. So you're not gonna look like Alex Eubank or like whatever fitness influencer you like to watch. You're not gonna look like them in 1, 2, even probably even 3 years. And this is not to say that you're not gonna be able to look as big or as good. This is just to say that you're fucking different. And it's okay to take your time and to make the progress. But if you want to make the progress fast, of course there are some shortcuts, right? Like steroids or whatever the fuck. But the legal basically shortcut is just to get on the right diet, train, sleep, and be like genuinely consistent, which is the most important part. It's quite literally what it takes dedication, that's it. And that leads us to my third point, which is you have to become obsessed. Like, I know that everyone watching this wants to get results fast, but as James Clear says in The Atomic Habits, the goal is not to read a book, the goal is to become a reader. And the same thing with the gym. The goal is not to lose weight or to become jacked or whatever. The goal is to become a kind of person that never skips the gym. Like, never. You go to work out, whatever it takes. Like, you get disciplined and you're dedicated as fuck. And like, it's not really hard. You just have to believe and you just have to have the right mindset. That's literally it. That's like 99% of the whole problem. Like, I'm not gonna tell you here about sleep, nutrition, and diet. Like, those things are obvious, you can research them. This is not a guide on how to build muscle or anything. This is just to make you believe that you can change your body so fast that nobody will believe you, like in my situation. Fix your mind, break the limiting beliefs, and take the first step. Like, it's literally what it takes. And if you want my personal help with that, you can click the top link in the description and check out my one-to-one coaching package, where I'm gonna guide you through my whole system on how to break limiting beliefs, get your body in shape, and get along with girls much better. So, I appreciate those who sat here for an entire video, and if you found this valuable, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.